Coming up tonight, Cameroon's National Assembly has adopted 3 bills, with one on a migration agreement between the country and Switzerland. The Circle of Friends of Cameroon has extended humanitarian assistance to women and youths of the Mineral Division in the West region. The delegation also paid visits to the sick and to the needy. Moïse MUGISHA has won the first lap of the Grand Prix Chantal Biya in front of Cameroon's First Lady, Mrs. Chantal Biya. The details right now. Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on CRTV. I am Moki Edwin Kinzaka in Yaoundé.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
Three bills have been adopted in Parliament at the plenary sitting chaired by Deputy House Speaker Théophile Baourou. Among the bill is one to authorize the President of the Republic to sign a migration agreement between Cameroon and Switzerland. Charles Ebune has the details.
The first bill to be adopted in the plenary sitting was the one to authorize the President of the Republic to proceed with Cameroon's accession to the Nagoya-Kuala Lumpur Supplementary Protocol on Liability and Redress to the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety adopted in Nagoya in 2010. Before its adoption, lawmakers sought to understand from the Minister of Environment and Nature Protection that genetically modified products do not constitute a health hazard to Cameroonians. The second bill, adopted in the plenary chaired by Deputy House Speaker Honorable Théophile Baourou, was the one to authorize the President of the Republic to ratify the agreement on migration issues between Cameroon and Switzerland. On the sidelines of the adoption, External Relations Minister Mbela sought to provide answers, including one in which he stated that President Paul Biya had never been on any ban to travel to Switzerland, and reassured lawmakers that the government is working to stop all those sponsoring war from abroad against the citizens of the northwest and southwest regions of the country. The last bill, defended by the Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Moutaze, and adopted by the lawmakers, was the one to authorize the President of the Republic to ratify the multilateral convention to implement tax treaty-related measures to prevent base erosion and profit shifting, adopted in Paris in 2016.
The Circle of Friends of Cameroon, CRTV, has extended its humanitarian gesture to the women and youth of the West region in Chang, in the Mineral Division. The personal representative of the First Lady, Grace Dion Gute, chaired the donation ceremony. Chetembok reports from Chang.
The handiwork of Cameroon's First Lady, Chantal Biya, who doubles as UNESCO's Goodwill Ambassador, is once again demonstrated as she comes to the help of the needy in the West region of the country. Through her charitable organization, CRTV, Chantal Biya refurbishes a district hospital in Chang, in the Mineral Division, where patients can henceforth receive quality medical attention.
Mrs. Chantal Biya encourages all those who invest in this sector to continue to work relentlessly, give their utmost best to protect and save human lives. There is no other nobler duty than to care and feed our fellow human beings.
It looks brand new, equipped with medical and sanitary equipment, a power transformer to regulate electricity supply to the hospital and the likes.
With this transformator, we have to improve the quality of our service in the lab, in the radiology, in anywhere. That means I can say that we are very happy today for the gift of the First Lady and his team.
They are out to see Serac in action again in the promotion of development through the donation of agricultural tools and inputs for use to foster the development of agriculture amongst rural women.
The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Mununa Futso, has wrapped up the national tour to hand over installation material for young beneficiaries of the 3-year Special Youth Emergency Plan. This took place at Hawaii in the Mifo and Afamba division of the Central Region, with over 800 youths from the region benefiting. More with Joyce Tata.
The Pioneer Village and Cluster unveiled for a sustainable integration of Cameroon's youth. Minister Mununa Futso of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, alongside its delegation, had a feel of the groundwork covered so far, while seeking to find out the drawbacks to rapid production in this sector. 14 months after planting, the fruit is harvested, processed by youth still till consumption level. Government voices out her readiness to support such hard youth in the nation. This for a start by making available the needed material and funds for them.
You have seen their enthusiasm, their mobilization at different phases. During our tour, we sensitize all the stakeholders so that they should master themselves the mechanism to advise, to accompany their youth. For the traditional rulers, I ask them to put more lands at the disposal of youth. The main objective of the plan is also to fight against rural exodus.
The 3-year Special Youth Emergency Plan vision of the head of state is one highly saluted by youth. My project is on the production and commercialization of cassava in the Ngumu locality. This tricycle will help me transport my farm products, the personnel, and even go sell them when they are ready. At the end of the national tour, procedures have been completed for the funding of more than 900 youth projects in Cameroon worth billions of CFA francs.
Children in the South region have expressed a wish for every child to be issued a birth certificate, given an education and protected, and to be protected. They spoke during the 2020 World Children's Day. Emmanuel Vemue reports that Social Affairs Minister Pauline Irene was present.
Wishing for a conducive environment where drug abuse, rape, early marriages and more are fought for children to be issued birth certificates and educated, these kids raise their worries before authorities on World Children's Day.
I am your sister. You are my family. Do not consume alcohol. Study.
With early pregnancies, abortions and delinquency on the rise in the division, the mayor of Samilima is using this platform to incite parents to responsible parenting. Minister Pauline Irene of Social Affairs has sensitized the children on their rights and duties while emphasizing measures taken by government to accompany them. The population has pleaded for the rehabilitation of the Mayor Mesala Social Center while expressing gratitude to items gifted to orphanages in the area.
The new board chair and director general of the National Cereals Board have officially taken office in Garwa, the North region. Jibril Nana and Muhammadu Gasimu were commissioned by Agriculture and Rural Development Minister Gabriel Bairobe. Luisa Akwanka Achatu has the rest of that story from CRTV North in Garwa.
The responsibility of making even more certain the first-rate functioning of the Cameroon Cereals Board is henceforth entrusted to the new chairperson of its board of directors, 70-year-old Jibrila Nana, and its new general manager, 53-year-old Muhammadu Gasimu, as their 3-year-long terms of office commence in earnest. Both appointed by the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, on November the 5th, 2020, are now looked upon to ensure the adeptness of the 45-year-old structure with a storage capacity of over 47,000 tons with 44 warehouses in fulfilling its role as a reliable guardian of the stock of cereals the 3 northern regions can fall back on in the eventuality of any food crisis situation. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairobe, installed them in Garwa with the exhortation to plow in their expertise and experience and to work with diligence so that food security can remain guaranteed in northern Cameroon.
The Collectif des Jeunes Patriotes avec Paul Biya, JAPAB, has organized to work to promote peace in the country. It was led by its national coordinator, Aka Steve Michel. The youths have taken a firm commitment to support the head of state, President Paul Biya. Le Kertugetud Asonganze reports from CRTV Center.
United for a one Cameroon, no to violence and destruction. Cameroon belongs to all of us are some messages that were brandished on placards by youths of the Collectif des Jeunes Patriotes avec Paul Biya.
We are fighting against violence. We are fighting against disorders, conflict, strike.
Today's march past was carried out as a reaction to the recent killings of innocent kids in Kumba and the recent publication of fake information on social media with regards to Cameroon.
We are one. We can be one. Just stop violence. We are needing peace in our country.
At the end, the Pan-African Prize for the Promotion of Peace and Distinction was handed over to Aka Michel by the Golden Press Award.
Municipal authorities in the West region have been schooled on methods of enhancing local development as the decentralization process is being concretized. Chetembok covered a seminar to that effect and now reports from Bafusam.
Fiscal 2020 is about to end, and the difficulties encountered throughout the year, including poor mastery of tax and public procurement system, negative impact on the environment from poor managerial decisions, must not be carried into 2021. This is the crux of the ongoing 3-day capacity building workshop that involves civil society organizations and representatives of decentralized local collectives from the West and the Northwest regions.
We as actors are willing to apply government action in the field.
The workshop is very useful as far as development is concerned, alleviating poverty is concerned.
We've got instances where the SDGs were localized, and now we are working to bring that to the people for them to implement.
The long-term goal is to have these representatives transit knowledge to the collaborators at the regional levels.
The efforts of some students of the African Institute of Computer Sciences to help combat the coronavirus have been recognized and encouraged by the representative of the institution in Cameroon. Armand-Claude Abanda was in Douala to encourage the students and requested for training to be harmonized. Rosalind Fossa reports from Douala.
The eagerness to control and stop the spread of the coronavirus since its outbreak has led to the creation of many anti-COVID-19 strategies. One of those who have been inspired by this urge is Fabrice Thiodip of the African Institute of Computer Sciences, IAI Cameroon, Douala branch. The student, just like many of them, has established an application known as NK Tracer, which according to him ensures the follow-up of COVID-19 cases after their treatment. The inventor explains that the application can also be very useful in airports to control all those coming into the country during the quarantine. This invention is part of the applications created by the students of IAI Cameroon, among other e-learning and distant work apps. The visit of the representative of the establishment in Cameroon, Armand-Claude Abanda, was to congratulate the creators and raise the need for the institution to collaborate with schools and enterprises in Douala to facilitate the use of the electronic tools.
Prayers have been said for a prosperous and serene Cameroon. This was during the 11th edition of the Cameroon National Breakfast on the theme, God Helping the Nation's Focus on Cameroon. The Ecumenical Service also prayed to God to guide President Paul Biya. Yoti Kalelisonge has the rest of that story.
Earnestly, they seek God's face, praying for peace in Cameroon and for a solution to the coronavirus pandemic.
So that God will pity us and is going to deliver us from this pandemic and and other social ills which are eating the fabrics of the society.
At this 11th edition of the Cameroon National Prayer Breakfast, the faithful are encouraged to trust their Creator.
God is our maker. Psalm 110 says He is our maker, not we ourselves. Our purpose in what we said today is to bring us back to our maker.
For the world, they intercede.
Lord, you are the God of peace.
That international solidarity reigns.
Because God rescued the nations and we had a focus on Cameroon. God listens to the prayer of those who are in distress.
Confident that their prayers have been answered, they rejoice while looking forward to another rendezvous come November 18, 2021.
Jehovah's Witnesses are engaged in a one-month campaign to depict a picture of what God's kingdom is in a special edition of the Watchtower magazine. Yoti Kalilisonge now enlightens us on the campaign to run till the end of November.
Like a well-oiled machine, they've set out to impact lives. Jehovah's Witnesses go into orbit for 1 month with a special edition of the Watchtower.
The purpose of this campaign is to draw the attention of all sorts of people to lives as the ultimate solution to problems that mankind has been facing for centuries. God's kingdom.
A crusade on God's kingdom that takes into consideration COVID-19 barrier measures.
Everything is done by post and electronic means. Hundreds of magazines have been sent and received by almost all government authorities, deputies and senators.
The campaign will run throughout the month of November to spread the good news to all persons regardless of their age or status.
More than 8.6 million of Jehovah's Witnesses are using this opportunity to share with everyone in about 1,024 languages this message, what you have been mentioning for centuries in the Lord's Prayer, Thy kingdom come, is more than ever close to its fulfillment.
No one should thus be surprised this month if they are presented with this message of hope on the kingdom of God.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
On to a tour to the different regions to get latest updates on the coronavirus pandemic, as tonight we take you to the East region of the country. Let's join Baldwin Sama at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center, who is on a video chat with Dr. Lionel Gislain Mbita, head of the East Center for the Fight Against the Epidemic. Sama?
Good evening to you, Moki Edwin Kinzeka. A tour of the different regions. This Saturday takes us to the East region of the country, where we shall be discussing with the coordinator of the East Regional Center for the Fight Against Epidemics, Dr. Gislain Lionel Mbita. Dr. Gislain Lionel Mbita, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Tell us, at the level of the East region of Cameroon, we have no cases of patients for COVID-19 in the hospitals. Does it mean that the situation is under control in your region?
Okay, thank you. The epidemiological curve of the East region is stable, but the risk of the second wave of contamination remains real. We have intense proximity monitoring and awareness at all levels, community and media.
Tell us, doctor, we have cases of some patients, COVID-19 patients, who are receiving treatments at home. Explain to us a little bit, how does that operate?
Okay, people on treatment at home are closely monitored and surrounding. I want you to notice that the people of the East region are very aware of the instruction of the head of state. Our partner such as WHO, WHO, UNICEF, Africa CDC, and other. We also thank the media for the work they do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ghislain Lionel Mbitea. You are the coordinator of the East Regional Center for the Fight Against Epidemics, for being a guest on the 7:30 newscast this evening. Moki Edwin Kinzeka, we continue our tour to the different regions tomorrow Sunday as we take you over to the West region of Cameroon. Back to you, Moki Edwin Kinzeka.
Thanks very much, Bodin Sama, and thanks for always being there. Now, let's not talk some politics. Campaigns for the regional council elections have been officially launched today. It has been timid, but the regional council elections are highly awaited because they will set up regional councils to crown the decentralization process. Ebenezer Kanga reports on the stakes of the elections.
They were highly awaited, the first ever regional council elections in Cameroon. For one thing, the setting up of regional councils will complete the decentralization process embarked upon by the country since 1996. It also gives the local population the powers to manage their own affairs.
The chief executive of the region shall be the regional president, especially for the northwest and the southwest regions. We talk about a special status, which means that what? Which means that it is the regional president who is a native of that region who will be at the helm.
The regional council elections are generating much enthusiasm among political parties and traditional rulers, while the population is anxiously waiting to see the new structures take off.
The regional elections of December 2020 will only be a stage, a watermark that will put in the structures and the judicial framework that will permit that the process, the actors will be in place to drive the train, drive the vehicle that will be aiming towards attaining the objectives that have been fixed.
The battle to win seats in the pioneer regional councils will be tough.
On to sports now, the First Lady of Cameroon, Mrs. Chantal Biya, has presided over the first lap of the Grand Prix Chantal Biya. The lap from Zotele to Meyomesala is a distance of about 146 kilometers or 116 kilometers. Moïse MUGISHA emerged winner, while Cameroon's best finisher or athlete, Clovis Kamzong Abosolo, came 10th. Daniel Ekonde has the rest of that story from the race course.
Receiving the yellow jersey from the First Lady of the Republic, Chantal Biya, signified the importance of this lap. In 2 hours, 46 minutes and 33 seconds, the Rwandan Moïse MUGISHA won the pursuit from Zoitele to Meyomesala over a distance of 116.4 kilometers.
I'm very okay, but everyone in my team, everyone needs to follow every leader. But 10 kilometers, I follow. 5 kilometers, I follow. I will take a go back up and I'm coming off finish. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, my coach and the staff and mechanics here. Thank you so much.
In a considerable gap, Friday's winner, Lucas Cubis, came second. In a ceremony graced by the First Lady, experts expected a Cameroonian to win this lap. But the country's best biker, Clovis Kamzong Abosolo, only got to the finish line 10th.
Between March and now, we didn't have any competition, no races. Maybe for the Rwanda, few racers in the country, in the Rwanda. It's why, because they are strong. They are strong in this race, and maybe the preparation was better than over teams.
The 23-year-old has now increased his chances of becoming the first Rwandan to win the Grand Prix Chantal Biya. It's only a matter of time as Saturday's finale from Saint-Mély-Mathieu Yaoundé closes in.
And that ends the news, in which we learned that the National Assembly has adopted 3 bills, with one on a migration agreement between Cameroon and Switzerland. And the Circle of Friends of Cameroon has extended humanitarian assistance to women and youths of the Mineral Division in the West region. The delegation also paid visits to the sick and to the needy. Moïse MUGISHA has won the first lap of the Grand Prix Chantal Biya in front of Cameroon's First Lady, Mrs. Chantal Biya. That ends the 7:30 news on CRTV. The next news is coming up at 8:30 in the French language with Lucrèce Mebenga. I am Moki Edwin Kinzeka Yaoundé. Thank you for watching.
this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.